Alright, let's see if this will work. No. Alright. Yeah, I could use something further back. Can you guys ask her to do that? That's going to be a neat part of it. Alright. Alright guys, so whatever you want to discuss, and I think I'll go ahead and give you guys the answer key because I always have people leave and then they email me saying, can you scan that and send it to me? So I'm going to give you guys this. Oh, there's 3 in there for you guys. Alright guys, so maybe a good idea is to kind of go backwards.
Review, yeah.
Well, there's
Good.
should be enough there, yeah?
For you, Bob.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I meant by backwards. Start at 4-3 and work our way back, right? Everybody got a copy, right? Oh. One Tiffany. Oh yeah.
No, in
Probably
Tiffany it's
gonna
gonna
have
see there.
We can see that. Cool. All right. Let's see. Also, I've got a stack of stuff. If you ever come in late and, it's after I pass stuff back, just come and see me. I've got stuff for you probably. So let's start in 4-3. Wow, we got all of this. 4-3 is that last one we did last time. And that was going from and to other bases. Yeah. So you couldn't tell me what's the easier way to go? What's an example problem that would be easier?
10 and transfer to whatever.
Good, so going 2 base 10. For a minute I thought 2 base 10. So you mean go 2 base 10, yeah. So if I had 1143 base 5, for example. That's easy because I know the places in base 5 and I also know what goes in each place. It's when I go from base 10 to base something or other, then the places are all blank. Then it should be harder to do, right? So, I mean, what are the places in base 5?
1, 5, 25.
Yeah, 1s, 5s,
25.
5 squared, 25.
125.
5 cubed, 125, right? So it's always the thing to the 0 power, which is always 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. The thing to the first, the thing to the second, the thing to the third. Just like base 10. So base 10 was sort of arbitrary for us. You know, it was predetermined by nature. We have 10 fingers. Well, we could have had 5 fingers. That would be really, truly funky. Right? But, I mean, this could have been the way, and why not? So instead of 1s, 10s, 100s, 1000s, it would be 1s, 5s, 25s, 125s. That's how it worked. So I know each spot, 1, 1, 4, 3, those are already in those spots because it is already in base 5. So this is why this is easier. I don't have to fill in the blanks. The blanks are filled in. That is in base 5. So to figure out what it is in base 10, I got 1. I got 1 of these, plus 1 of these, plus 4 of these, plus 3 of these. And if you really think about it, that's exactly what we do with like 721. I got 700s, 2 10s, and 1 700s, 2 10s, and 1 1. That's what you called expanded form a million years ago when you did that, right? Expanded form. And of course, incredibly enough, that works out to be 721 because it was in our base and it's still in our base. Why is this harder? Because we're starting in somebody else's base. But it's not that difficult, right? we just tease out this one means one of these and so forth. And what do you get when you add all these? Like 150 and 20 and 3? So 173? Is that cool? So that's 150, 20, and 3. 173. So if we had a base 5 number system and you wrote down on a piece of paper, Johnson, I need 1143 of chairs, I wouldn't know it meant 173. I would just understand that that's the number it represented. Just like when I say 173 to you, you have a feel for what that is, right? That's a parking ticket would suck. $173 parking ticket, that would suck, right? So we have a feel for what it is. Whereas this on a parking ticket, if we thought it was base 10, it's like, holy crap, what did I do? Right? Even running a dang red light is still about half of that, but still freaking too much. But anyway, I wonder if Jeff ever got one of those tickets.
Trivia question.
Learn from my mistakes. So what about the other way? That's the hard part. If you want to go the other way, and notice one thing, what did I have to be careful about? Can everybody see, what did I have to be careful about when I can't just throw down any numbers there. What did I have to be careful that didn't show up here as I wrote them down? For example, if I write this, why does that not make any sense?
Because 7 is the one.
Base 7?
Base 7, it only goes up to 6.
Good, because base 10 only goes up to 9, doesn't it? And then 10 is 1, 0. 10 is the first number that you need 2 digits to represent. So 7 should be represented by 1, 0 in base 7, right? So this doesn't make any sense.
Oh, so it's the 8 because
It's the 7 and the 8.
So it should be 6, 7, 4. If it were.
If I wanted to make a different problem, yeah, I'd have to be careful. So when I'm making up these problems, I have to be careful. I have to know ahead of time what base I want to use. If I would have wrote 1153, I'd hope that somebody out there would go, Mr. Waller, sometimes I have students that just wait for me to make a mistake, right? So hopefully somebody would have been like that, would have got me. I can't have 5 or above show up here. I can only use 1 through 4, right? Because 5 would be 1, 0 in base 5. It's no longer a single digit. Same thing over there, base 7, I can only go up to 6.
So if you gave us that on the test, we would just put...
Yeah, and there's actually questions in the homework, and I might ask one on the test like this, what's wrong with these? Or is there anything wrong with these? Because one of the hardest ones is something like this. Is there anything wrong with that? Not a damn thing wrong with that. How many places are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 places. And none of them are over 12, right? But if I said, is there a problem with this? I know somebody out there that's missing classes might say, yeah, Jeff, you're trying to put F in a problem.
Yes, F is a bigger number.
Yeah, F represents what?
12.
A is 10, B is 11, C is 12. F would be 15.
15.
50.
15.
Do you guys see what I'm saying? And I can't go up to 15 in base 12. Right?
What?
Base 12 needs how many single digits? Up to the number 11. Base 10 needs up to 9. Base 12 needs up to 11. So base 12 needs 1, 2, 3, 9, A, B. That's all it's allowed to use. Is it allowed to use F? No. Are we allowed to use F in a number? No, because we have base 10. We don't need it. Right?
So always the base has to be
One bigger than
the number.
right, that's the
So
rule.
if it's
We see the rule
13,
from our place, our
It has to
base.
be 12.
Yeah, if I had base
long.
13, I'd go
Yeah.
up to
Oh, okay.
12. I'd go up to C, right?
Mm-hmm.
A is 10, B is 11, C would be 12. So for base 13, I'd go up to C, 12. Okay, I think most of you guys are kind of with me. Some of you are trying to desperately hide that you have no idea what the hell I'm saying. Let's do one more problem like this, and then we'll do the harder way, which is going from our base to somebody else's. Let's see. So when you have higher bases, you can make words. Yay! For base 16, what are the places first? I need 3 places here, right?
1, 16,
Yes, ones, 16s,
Listen to the second.
yeah,
56.
256, 11. So there's two things done here. I know I only need 3 places because I only have 3 places. Base 16, I already know. And going the other way, I said go one place too many because then you don't even know how many places you might need, right? Yes.
Explain how you got 256 when you had it.
So it's always the number to the 0 power, which is 1, the number to the first power, the number to the second power, and so forth.
Okay.
And what is 16 squared? Cool. So now you just piece this back together. Now you can write what these really are. C is really 13, 10, 11, 10, 11, 12.
Oh.
A is
13,
really
11.
10.
12, so 10, and B is really
11.
11. A, B, C, 10, 11, 12. So how many 256s do we have?
12.
12, and so forth, right?
So 12.
Second?
How do you know?
No, what?
What you just said.
That C is 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so in base 16, I need 1, 2, 3, 9, but I need to be able to go up to 15 for single digits. If I try to write 10, how many digits is that?
2.
2.
There will
I
be
need a
8.
single digit for 10 in base 16, right?
Of course.
A.
So that's why we just chose to use A. If you were around when they were talking about what to choose, you could have chosen something else. But they just decided to start with the alphabet, which actually probably is the best way to go. So A is for 10, B, C, D, E, F, because that would be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Yeah.
Then after F, what would you just keep?
If you had base, now
G,
here's
no.
where, that's the highest base you'll see from me, unless it's a bonus question. But if you got to base 300,
Because they have a base 17.
yeah, base 17 is not that big of a deal because you would just do
It's just
G for 16, yeah, right?
Yeah.
See?
300, you've gone through the alphabet, so.
And there's a
Like
couple of
Yeah.
problems. Even before that, you got through the alphabet. Do you want to use the letter O? Looks like a 0, right?
No.
And the letter I you could use, but you have to be very specific. It's got to be